And we did it. We're live. Good evening, bicycle enthusiasts. So, it is Bike Theft Awareness Month. I don't know if that's a globally recognized holiday, but we're counting it as one here at the San Diego County Bicycle Coalition. I am Mr. Kevin. You may have seen me around town. I do stuff on bicycles. And because I don't know a whole lot about today's topic, I've invited some friends to help me. Today's topic is bicycle trackers. How do they work? What is a bicycle tracker? I don't know. We're going to learn together. And to help us out, I've got Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sam with the Bicycle Coalition. And yeah, it's a hot topic, bicycle trackers and trackers in general. And we've done a little bit of the research for you guys to help you, to guide you in your shopping and your bike protection choices.
And because this is a topic that contains multitudes and can't be just restricted to two people, we've also got Daniel.
What's going on, guys? My name is Daniel Rodriguez, brand new to the coalition, social media coordinator. Excited to be here, but yeah, we have a lot to talk about, a lot of cool research that we've done, a lot of different GPS trackers out there that you can install to your bike. So I'm excited to get into it.
Cool. So that being said, Sam, why don't you take it away? I think you wanted to start off with some friends of ours at Bike Index, yeah?
Yeah, so this is gonna be a reoccurring theme for our bike awareness campaign this month, and that's that you need to register your bike. If you don't have a record of purchasing the bike, that the bike is yours, and if that record's not kept somewhere reliable, you're not going to be able to prove the bike is yours, and you're going to not be able to recover it. So Bike Index is one of the biggest bike registration websites, and it's free, and it's active in San Diego, and it's easy. You go to the bikeindex.org first thing once you find your serial number on your bicycle. And so let's go to Daniel again, and he's going to show us one place you can look for your serial number besides your the invoice from purchasing your bike.
Yeah, so pretty much every bike is a little different. For my bike, I'm not going to try and lift it because you can't really see it, but my bike will be, for a serial number, will be at the bottom here, very bottom bracket. A little bit of dirty side. Sometimes you'll find it closer to the pedals, sometimes towards the back seat post here. So it always varies. You always want to make sure you ask the bike shop or wherever you're buying it where you can find that serial number. That way it's a little bit easier and a little bit faster for you to go ahead and register it. And even sometimes bike shops will register the bike for you as well. So definitely talk to your local bike shop enthusiast.
Okay, back to the idea of identifying your bike. If you can't use your serial numbers, if they've been ground off, if your bike doesn't have serial numbers, you can engrave your bike, and you can, engraving your bike is one option, and so that's something to consider. So,
cool. What else do we have today? GPS trackers, types of trackers.
So the tracker that I know the most about is Apple's AirTag. Is that something you guys have any experience with, or do you know anything about those specifically? How is that different than another one?
Yeah. So the AirTags have gotten a lot of attention in the news lately. People have been using them for all types of things, and bicycles is definitely one of the uses. And with the AirTag in particular, right now there are many brands and products out on the market. And so one of the things we want to do today is to tell you some of the features to look for. And when it comes to Apple's AirTags, they work well. They use the iPhones themselves, all the iPhones that are owned by different people around a city or around an area to locate your tag. One of the big problems with using it on a bicycle is that after 3 days away from you, it starts making a noise so that it can't be used to track other people in nefarious ways. And so that is a limitation of the iPhone AirTags. And the other limitation is it only works with Apple products. So I think really, if you're really comfortable with Apple products and that's what you always want to use, you might want to look into the AirTags. But otherwise, I would definitely take a look at all the other brands that are out there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing I kind of want to say about, the AirTags is, what's nice about it is that they're semi, affordable. I think they run about $25 to $35. You can also buy them in packs, which is really nice. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the market for GPS trackers and just to help folks how, to prevent getting the bike stolen has just exploded throughout the last 2 years, mostly because a lot of people have been buying bikes during the pandemic and, not really being unfortunately educated to how to lock the bike properly. Yeah, I mean, there's bikes that have GPS trackers in the pedals, some that are installed with lights as well. We'll definitely talk a little bit about those as well. But I mean, pretty much what it comes down to is that, want to take into consideration of how much something costs, the connectivity is going to be weatherproof as well, and then customer service, which some companies will end up helping you find your bike or even insure your bike to give you some hope, in the future.
Yeah, and I think ultimately the decision about how much money to spend to protect your bike, it depends on how much you spent on the bike and how you, where and when you are protecting your bike. Obviously, it's not recommended in the city of San Diego to ever leave a bike outside during the nighttime anywhere, even in your own yard, even your own garage. A bike needs to be locked up and inside at night in San Diego. People will steal it. And if you want to test your AirTag, then that's the way to go. So,
yeah, it's definitely kind of nice the fact that a lot of these companies did make these products kind of cheap and affordable because, like I said, some of them run $15, some of them could run up to like $100. But at the end of the day, at least investing into something like that will help you find or give you, like I said, hope to find your bike if it does get stolen. That way you don't have to go back to the bike shop and buy a bike that's worth more than an AirTag or more than another GPS tracker. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the one thing I do like about most of these trackers is the customer service and the applications, the apps that they already have out there. They do give you like real-time tracking. So I forgot the product that I saw, but pretty much if you have one of the GPS trackers, once they feel like movement or vibration, they'll automatically send you a notification saying like, hey, there's something going on. Maybe you want to check it out. There's some that are a little bit less like that. Like for example, the stealth tag that we saw for a lot of mountain bikes, those you get out install right there on the fork. And they do a pretty good job. They definitely take some pretty good hits, and also they're weatherproof, I believe. Which is another thing if you do live in kind of rainy conditions such as Portland or other areas, that might be something to consider. But we live in beautiful sunny San Diego, so not much of an issue here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're not tiny. They do have batteries inside that either last the life of the tag, a year to 2 years, or they can be recharged. Some last a month and a half, 2 months. Some last a year on a charge. So they do have batteries inside them, and they're not tiny. Another thing to consider is that if you do slide them inside a metal tube, aluminum or steel, it does block the signal. And so one of the big issues is where to put it on the bike. So that is something you need to consider. They do sell things like this to help attach it to the bike. So there's plastic ones that wrap around the frame. There's some that bolt on. So besides the battery, you have to think also about, well, one thing I think about is peace of mind. And some of the features of these trackers do give peace of mind. The one that notifies you immediately if the bike moves at all, well, that's going to give you a huge advantage if it even moves in your own garage. And other ones, they provide more customer service, but they may also charge a monthly service fee. And you may actually have to get a SIM card. These tiny devices, some of them even have a SIM card inside and use a cellular network. And so that's one of the considerations you need to think about is the network. And
Yeah, I actually like the image right there that we're showing about the one that's in the handlebars. Nowadays, you definitely make them very stealthy to where they're not really seen. I've seen them like we have here on display, the ones that go straight into the handlebars, which is kind of nice. I've seen a few that go straight down into the seat post or even underneath the seats. So it does give you some form of like, oh, it's not going to be this big, GPS thing or something that's blinking all the time. It's going to be something that's going to be super low key, and no one will be able to identify it as a GPS. I even seen a couple that are integrated with lights, which is nice, like the back lights or the front lights. It works as both things. And then even sometimes, GPS computers, if you do leave them on there, they can also be helpful as well. But yeah, I mean, there's so many devices out there. It all depends. It all comes down to you. What will fit better within your system. If you're an Apple person, Apple product person, maybe the Apple AirTag will be good. Or if you want to get something that's a little bit cheaper and has a little more features, I recommend looking at a couple other like smaller companies that are really pushing for bike safety.
Okay, so then here's my question. All that being said, the tracker tracks the bike. That's great. However, let's say my bike gets stolen. I open up my phone and the phone says, "Hey, your bike is in this person's backyard over here." Now what? Legitimate question.
That's a really good question. A lot of it, you have to have I forgot the process exactly on what to do when it comes to reporting that to police departments. You could get help from them. I know sometimes if you do end up paying for the membership or an annual fee with some of these GPS tracker companies, they will also help you get the bike. But really, you'll have to get into connection with your local security, neighborhood security, or something like that. And that's the beauty of registering your bike and even taking a photo of your serial number, because if you do need to prove something like that, that's probably the first thing they'll be asking you for.
Yep. And something to help in San Diego is that you can file a police report online, and you probably should do it right away. And we're going to go over a lot more bicycle theft tips, more than can fit in this live today, about reporting and working with the police. But know that when it comes to the trackers, it's going to be probably something that you move on right away within the first couple days. And it is worth giving the police a call, but if you can't get a hold of them, it's definitely necessary to file a police report, which in San Diego, go ahead, do it online. And use all the pertinent information you have.
Yeah, I think that's where the bike index I've heard being helpful, because otherwise it's this person says it's their bike and this person says it's their bike, and there's no way to really know whose is whose.
Yeah, no, for sure. Challenging world out there.
So what I'm taking away is it's worth looking at. The price of entry doesn't seem to be super high. These aren't. My instinct was that these would all cost $100 each, kind of thing. But it seems like that's not the case. So that's kind of nice to know. And the other tip is it sounds like go with a reputable company, because, if a bike lock company goes out of business, then the bike lock still works. Mm-hmm. But if a bike tracker company goes out of business, then your bike tracker doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, you would have to change to a different company. But no, I mean, that's the beauty of it as well. Like you said, if you're going to be investing thousands of dollars in a bike, I mean, I'm sure you can invest $20, $25 for a tracker that does just as well, like, an AirTag. So, just low investment will definitely help you, protect your bike a little bit more.
So it's worth looking into.
100%.
And cool. You're gonna have to do some shopping around with all the features that are out there. And this is something to complement all the basics. Register your bike. Look into insurance if you have a very expensive bike, and the specifics of your insurance. And then later in this series, we'll go into more of how to lock your bike and other steps, but of the fundamentals.
Yeah, definitely. And just follow us on social media as well, SC Bike Coalition, Instagram and Facebook. And we'll definitely be showcasing some different styles of GPSs on there. So maybe one of those you like, and you can check them out.
So then, to sum it up, I need each of you top features that you're looking for if you're going to go out and buy one and there's two of them in front of you. What's going to be the thing that makes you pick one over the other one? Daniel, you start.
Connectivity for sure. If it's a GPS that's able to read off of other GPSs to kind of narrow down where the bike is, that's definitely a positive. And also, I don't know how to say this, but stealth, at least trying to make sure that it's not something that is super bright or vibrant, but something that no one will actually be able to identify if someone's thinking about taking your bike.
But also maybe something that is giant that says this bike has an air tracker on it.
True.
Would prevent someone from stealing it.
I mean, like Sam said, there's definitely GPSs out there that also make noises like an alarm. So it all depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And Sam, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I'm in a different school. I'm a little more attracted to the devices that give you a text message immediately if your bike vibrates or moves. Even the ones that make some sound and warn the person stealing it that it has a tracker. I don't have a tracker yet and haven't tried it, but I would be attracted to the ones that that you can move on what's happening quickly and respond to the situation.
Because I think no matter the strength of your lock or the expensiveness of your bike tracker, there's no substitute for being within 20 feet of your bike at all times.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, you always got to be visible. You know, at least for me, whenever I go out, I got to make sure my bike is I can see it.
Yeah. I mean, we've all heard this. The times that almost 100% of the times I've heard people's bikes getting stolen are the times when they just left it for 1 second. I'll be right back, and then off it goes. Okay, this was cool. Thank you guys. Yeah, like you said, we're going to do a couple more of these, a few more of these throughout the month, focusing on different aspects of bike theft and what goes into it, locks, and it's more complicated than just locks. There's a lot that goes into it. So join us for those. Thanks everybody for joining us. And with that, I will hit this button over here and make a little video play, and then we're out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.